Hey guys, it's Luke here and welcome back to another video from this year's Goodwood Festival of Speed. Today's video is going to be slightly shorter than normal, well I anticipate so anyway, because I'm going to be doing something a little bit different. I've been having a wander around some of the stands whilst off camera, just kind of getting an idea about what we got on kind of here at the show, and a couple of cars caught my eye at a certain stand, a stand which I'm very familiar with. Obviously you may be able to guess that by the title, so it's just over my left shoulder now. Let's go head over there and see what they got going on. Right, here we are then. The VW stand is a huge stand actually, but let's have a little look what we got going on here. Now there's two cars on this stand which I really want to show you guys. One of them is this, the Volkswagen ID.R. As of yesterday, real-time filming this video, this thing set the new Goodwood Festival of Speed hill climb record of 41.1 seconds. Now it's taken 20 years for someone to beat that record. I think one of the, I think it was an F1 car which beat it back in the 90s. But this thing is a Pikes Peak car, absolutely bonkers thing, aero taken up to the max. Now this thing is only 98 centimeters tall. It's tiny, and you can probably tell it's on the floor. It's it's ridiculous. Now this thing is an all-electric Pikes Peak car, hence the name ID.R. We've still got a nice R badge on the front, so technically it's a sibling of my Golf R. Now this thing puts out power output of 670 brake horsepower. Now you've got an electric motor on each of the four wheels of things, four-wheel drive, and you've got some clever torque split technology going on here. Look at those side skirts. You see that? That is absurd. So yeah, this thing obviously being a Pikes Peak car, it's built for aero and driving everywhere very, very quickly. So first time we've seen it in person, I think there's two here. This one which is on show here at the VW stand, and the one doing the hill climb, the one which broke the record yesterday, 41.1 seconds. So let's fight the crowds a bit and have a closer look at this thing. I mean, the aero on this thing is absolutely bonkers. Look at that rear wing. I dare to think the amount of downforce that this thing produces. Obviously it's a single seater, completely enclosed in there. That must be interesting to drive, to say the least. And this thing, as you can imagine, is extremely light, completely stripped back. I mean, it's barely a car really, it's just four wheels with a steering wheel with some paneling here and there, which I imagine is carbon fiber. It weighs just over a ton. I think it's 1.1 tons, which is nothing in the grand scheme of things. This thing, look at it, absolutely incredible. I love how all the carbon is very naked. It's not made to look nice, you know, it's kind of, you know, it's built for motorsport, it's built for a purpose, and it does exactly that. I mean, look at that, it doesn't even fit in the lens. Completely different for Volkswagen. Obviously, Volkswagen aren't really too heavily involved in motorsport, they're not in F1 or bits like that, but you know what? Well, they've gone and broken the Goodwood Hill Climb record this weekend, so this thing is obviously a bit of a beast. Now, VW are kind of making a name for themselves for the kind of I series, or the electric series. Obviously, we've got the ID.R here, we've got a funky little concept over here. This is the ID Vision concept, kind of like a, I don't know, a saloon kind of thing. It kind of reminds me of a Tesla, maybe a Tesla Model 3 or something. Bonkers thing, but yeah, obviously the VW are heavily getting into electronics, which is, well, I say electronics, electric cars, should I say. Anyway, we're going to swing, we've got a little VW camper, which again is part of the I series, but the car which I want to focus on properly in this video seems to be what everyone else is looking at. Surprisingly, not this, which is unusual. So, we have the VW T-Roc R, and the question which I'm asking myself is, how does this thing, the crossover, compare to my car, the Golf R? Now, interestingly, having done some research on this, it is quite similar. So I'm going to basically run you guys through it and give you guys a better idea of it, because this thing was only revealed at Geneva Motor Show this year, so only about 2 months or so now. Cars don't go on sale till later on this year. Now, obviously, the T-Roc is a fairly familiar car for the VW range. I think they've sold about 200,000, be it the SE variants or the R line variants, but not the R. This is the range topper, of course, and it is very intriguing. Essentially, it is a pretty stretched Golf R. It's a crossover, so it's basically a taller hot hatch, should we say, especially when we've got that lovely R logo on the front. Now, as for spec of this particular car, it's finished in lapis blue, which of course my car is underneath the very garish green wrap. Obviously you've got plenty of R logos here and there because this is now an R. It is a member of the VW R family. Now, a couple of things visually which are similar to my car. We obviously have the 19-inch Pretorius. Now, these are, like my car, the upgrade wheels, the 19-inch. If I pop around this way, we might be able to grab a closer look at them, shimmering in the sunshine. I imagine the same brake kit and bits and bobs like that. Another R logo here. Again, some very similar styling to the Golf R. Now, performance. This car has exactly the same power plant as the Golf R. Now, obviously, it's not going to be as quick as the Golf R because there's more car, you know, it's a crossover, it's heavier. I'm not sure how much heavier. I don't think VW have actually released weight statistics on this as of yet, but we have the same 2-litre turbo engine mounted up front, circa 300 brake horsepower, i.e. exactly the same as the Golf R. To compare it to the Golf R, where things get different though, is obviously the performance stats. Both cars, however, are electronically limited at 155. However, the 0 to 60 on this is, I believe, 4.9 seconds compared to the 4.5 of the Golf R. So yeah, there's not much in it. To think that this is a crossover and it's basically quicker than most hot hatches is pretty impressive, really. I'm loving this black roof. I think this would need to be de-chromed if it was my car. But yeah, I'm liking the looks of this. Obviously, it's kind of remaining similar to the Golf R in the sense you get quite a lot of sharp lines, especially this one that goes across the wing and the bonnet. Of course, I'm a sucker for the Pretoria wheels. Absolutely love this, and of course the colour itself. Now we'll have a look inside once someone's had a look themselves. But yeah, first impressions of the T-Roc R. It looks to be pretty impressive. Now, obviously, being an R, you have the quite famous quad exhaust on the back, but this one has an exhaust which I'm very tempted to steal from my car. We have the optional performance exhaust made by Akrapovic. Now, you can get this for the Golf R. I imagine this is like the performance pack, I guess. But yes, very nice, like that. Oh look, the boot's coming open as well. Obviously, being a crossover, it's going to be a lot more practical than a Golf R. I imagine it's probably going to be about the same as a Golf R estate. So any Golf R estate owners out there, this might be the sensible choice when you have too many children or something. I don't know. Anyway, right, someone else who just hopped in the driver's seat, which is a little bit annoying. But there we go, T-Roc R. Let's have a little wander around this, show you some B-roll, and then hopefully when this chat's finished, we can have a proper look inside. Right, here we go then. First time stepping into the new T-Roc R. Now the first thing I personally notice is all of this matte lapping. Oh, what's going on here? We've got some classic FM, and Chloe's joined with me today. Oh, right, okay, what's going on here? So we'll get to all this in a minute. So, satin blue detailing. I like this. It's almost like satin blue or satin lapis blue, shall we say?
Yeah, I was reading this one. It is satin lapis.
Oh, interesting. Oh, factual. Now, obviously, very reminiscent, very similar to my car, the Mark 7.5 Golf R. We got a few slight little touches. We got a slightly more sleek digital dash. Obviously, I imagine that all changes. Revs up to 6,500 for a crossover. That's mental. Only 14 miles on the clock as well. So that's, I imagine, we don't have the engine on, but I imagine when we do, we can change all of that, similar to what we can in the Golf R. Now, as for the climate controls and everything, that's all very similar. The where things slightly get different is up here. Actually, no, I take that back. This is the SatNav Pro, which I don't have on my cars. Another thing which I need to steal off this car and put on mine. But yeah, for any Golf R owners who have that, stop moaning at me. You'll probably be fairly familiar with all that. I imagine we still have all of the funky, oh, look at that. Oh, off-road information. Oh, I'm geeking out now. Hang on a minute, how do I get, oh, what have I done? That's very cool. So we can change all that. Imagine, there we go. Oh, very cool. So you can see all your gravity. What am I on about? You can see all your different gradients. That's the word I'm looking for. So, yes, very similar interior to the Golf R. So we have those metal pedals down there. All the window controls are all the same. Slight different styling and more sharp edges to the door handles and bits and bobs down there. Obviously, we have a very familiar sight for me. We have a dual clutch 7-speed DSG on this car. And
this
also,
I think is better than the Golf R.
That's cool.
That I think is far
Yeah,
more,
so you
because
can...
obviously you change your mode up here with the button.
Yeah, it's like a little button, isn't it?
Whereas it's literally just...
So you can select your different modes there, from comfort, normal, race and individual. And you've got snow mode, motorway mode or something, and then rough terrain. So that's very cool. I like that. They're very satisfying.
Something else as a passenger.
Oh, go on.
It has 2 USBs.
Oh,
Your
yes.
car's only got 1. And
very
as a
annoying.
passenger, that can get very frustrating.
Very irritating. Anyway, the seats were satin. So they're very well. They got our logos on, so they're quite similar to mine. We've got some like
it's almost like carbon
It's
effect
almost
fabric.
like carbon effect, but we've got the Alcantara in grey. Same at the back as well. You might be able to get a better idea of that. Same seats to the Golf R, so they do hug you very nicely. But yeah, nice place to be. It's very VW. You know, you'd expect that headroom is good, which obviously you'd expect as well, being a crossover. But yeah, it's a nice little facelift and a nice little step up from the Golf R.
It does feel very big.
It does feel big. I mean, just the room above your head there, for example.
Yeah, it does feel big.
But anyway, I imagine there's a big queue for everyone that wants to check this thing out. So let's hop on out and have another look and speak about a few more things. So there we go, little wander around the T-Roc R. First impressions, I like it a lot. Would it be a car which I would buy? Personally, no. Because, I mean, I'm a Golf R lover, you know, I'm a hot hatch, I'm a sucker for hot hatches, but this, for a crossover, is very, very impressive. There's a huge amount of people which are wanting to come and have a look at this car. Like I said, for the T-Roc kind of model, I should say, they've sold over 200,000 and the car's only been out for maybe a year or two. So yeah, it's not one which I would personally buy, but I thought that definitely it would be something which you guys want to see. And actually, I'd be very interested to get behind the wheel of one of these things and see what it's like to drive, see how it compares to the Golf R. Maybe put it up alongside, because obviously we know that the Golf R is going to come out slightly on top due to the weight difference in here and there. But it'd be interesting to see just how close it would be. Anyway, that's going to round things up for today's video. Like I said, quite a short one, but definitely one which I think you guys are going to find interesting. Let me know down in the comments down below what you think of the T-Roc R, whether you've got one on order, whether you're planning to get one or not. Very interesting car, and like I said, I look forward to hopefully making some more content again with it soon. Anyway, that's it for now. Hope you guys have enjoyed. If you have, please do make sure you leave a like and make sure you subscribe for all the adventures still to come.